Yo, welcome to happy hour, y'all. It's Thursday. We're doing happy hours on Thursday now. It's April 6th, 2023. It's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we getting ready to have some fun. We getting ready to talk about some books and talk about how we can support each other and what we can do just to kind of lift each other up as independent authors. That's what we do. We're out here having a good time. We are promoting ourselves, promoting our businesses, and we are rubbing elbows with people to the left, to the right, meeting people, becoming more visible, right? They always say, hey, go get your name out there, go get yourself out there. That's what happy hour is all about for authors, right? If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, hello. So glad you're joining us. If you're listening to this on my podcast, welcome, podcast listener. You're going to have a really good time tonight. You're going to hear from a lot of different people, different indie authors, independent authors from all over the United States. We have a couple of people that are going to be coming in as international guests tonight, too. So make sure that you keep your eyes and ears open for that. These folks who I invited in are either first-time authors or multiple-time authors, or they are thinking about becoming authors. And here comes somebody right now, Taariq. Hey, there he is, all the way from Rochester, New York. Is New York in the house? New York is in the house, y'all. Here he is in the flesh. What's up, Taariq?
First of all, I'm in this day.
How did he
Beauty
do
and
that?
brains.
Look
That
at this.
makes a perfect person
Look at
in an
this.
imperfect world.
Where are you right now? Are you in class?
How did he do that?
No, my cleaning job.
Oh, amazing.
This
It
is
looks
this
like
is
you're
this
about
is
to
just the
take a
accomplishment part.
class.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
This is my ace boom coon, Latasha Jimerson. Yeah, she's official with the theme song.
Are
So,
you okay with me taking a picture of us?
oh, absolutely.
Okay. So one with the glasses and one without.
All right.
Look at you. You're like, how's my neck?
I'm so wet. Wait,
That's
sorry.
okay.
I'm
You still
sweaty.
handsome. Still
Thank
handsome.
you.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Okay. And then one without the glasses. There we go. We can really see, the windows to the soul.
Yes.
Got it. All
You
right.
are so youthful.
Okay. So thank you so much. I love what I do, and I do what I love. That's what it is.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
I'm 47, but I feel like I'm 27.
oh, that's what I'm talking about. I was gonna say, did you have? 'Cause I know you said you were diagnosed with bipolar some years ago. Do you also have like seasonal depression?
Yes.
So is there? I mean, obviously depression, because sometimes the word is misused, but usually when you're in the thick of it. Is there kind of like a when you like, wow, okay, seems like the winter depression has gone. But, oh, so you are at that point? Okay.
I definitely get more depressed in October, November, December.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that was typically the time when I was teaching that I would
Hmm.
use my sick days to take time off to just go do me.
Yeah.
The holidays are very difficult, mostly because more recently, my sister passed away. She was only 39
Oh,
years old when she passed away. So the recent
that's
holiday
crazy.
season, yeah, it was really rough. But even before she passed away in 2020, the holidays were always rough for me because when we grew up,
Hmm.
and when I grew up, my mom was a single mom and she left her abusive marriage very early. We were very, very young. By the time
Hmm.
she was 21, she had 3 kids. So when she
Wow.
decided to leave her husband, we were instantly homeless because it was a military base. We lived on the base. Everything was on the base. So when we left the base, we were literally without any support at all. And so holidays were really, really rough because we would go spend the nights with other people, or we would go to a shelter. People would come bring us gifts. There were a lot of years where we had gifts from other people. And so even when I grew up, became a teacher, raised my own kids, the holidays continued to bring about that sadness. Because, I always thought about, not everybody in the world is jolly.
Yes.
That was always in my head somewhere. Like, you got to remember the people who not everybody is able to give these gifts and get these gifts, So when I had my kids, I would tell them, look, y'all lucky because we got underwears and socks. Because my mom wanted to make sure that those things were provided for the holidays because it was difficult throughout the whole year. So yeah, that was a good question. The question was, do you suffer from seasonal depression? I was actually bipolar. I was diagnosed with bipolar in 2007. So my bipolar can flare up at any time.
Right.
But holidays, for real. Yeah, for real.
Definitely. And it's definitely important. One thing I've learned, whether mental health clinically or not, people cannot understand you if they don't know what you're going through, your affects. Can't care about what you don't know. On the other hand, those outside looking in, while it's good to do it's definitely good to do research, but also not treat different diagnoses as cookie cutter.
Definitely.
So, you're not like Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis situation is Jennifer Lewis situation. Because obviously, who was that other actress who I just thought was she still is the bomb.com. There's still recent pictures of her, but she was a bad mamma jamma. In Jason's Lyric, she was Jada Pinkett's best friend in the movie.
Oh,
Miss Thickums.
I forgot.
Is it Lisa Nicole Carson or something like that?
Is that her?
She was diagnosed, I think, with schizophrenia.
Wow.
And so that's why she hadn't, done much work, in the last 20 years. Some people can work with it. More power to you, because especially in, I don't care what anybody says, filmography is a complicated, chaotic environment.
Yes.
And so you already got something going on with you, and you had to channel certain emotions to get the desired, you know what I'm saying? Even Samuel L. Jackson, he a rehab for crack cocaine, and the very next week he's filming Jungle Fever and he has to play a crackhead. How do you do that?
What they say about art imitate life, life imitate art. You can't make this shit up.
But he said it was cathartic,
I'm sure.
I probably would have been in the corner. No, that's not the cocaine. No, we gotta do the that's not the cocaine we're using. we simulate. You not what? Take him back to rehab.
Hold up. Time out. Thank you, Gail, for coming in. Thank you, Amika. We're gonna go ahead and get officially started. We were just hanging out, Taariq and I, just hanging out, talking. So we're going to introduce ourselves. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do in this world? And then I have some pop-up juicy questions that I've prepared for y'all that you won't know what they are. I'm just going to throw them out to you and see who can handle them. Okay, so Taariq, you were up in the house first, so you can introduce yourself, and then Gail, and then Amika. So, we also took a photo, Taariq and I. Ladies, would you mind taking a photo with us?
No.
You okay with that? Awesome. All right. So we're We're all nerdy. We all got glasses. So one with the glasses and then one without glasses. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got that one. All right, here's another one. 1, 2, 3. All right, you know that's for the gram. That's for the gram. All right,
Absolutely.
Taariq.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a
so-
minute. Hold on, Taariq. I forgot. We got distracted. I forgot that I'm gonna go live on Facebook right now.
Awesome.
So we're gonna be broadcast into both of my groups. So let me put that in there right now. Happy hour for authors is happening now. So that'll be a reminder for those people that aren't in here yet. Come hang out on Zoom.
I really feel like we should do like a movie, us four.
Okay, you know we got the personality for it.
Yeah.
For
Like it'll be a good ensemble cast.
okay, let's see. Where's my group? Your first book. Book club. And then, boom, live. Okay, we getting ready to be live. And then also, this video is going to be available on my podcast, which is on anchor.fm. Thank you very much. They do pay me to say that. And it's also going to be available on my YouTube channel, which is Your First Book 101. And we are now live. Okay, let me get over here. Perfect. All right. What happened to Gail? Where's Gail? Oh man.
She went to get the heels to kick off while she does the Patti LaBelle. Somebody Loves Your Baby. Yeah.
Oh, there's Gail. Okay, there's Gail and there's Takia. Welcome to the room, Takia. We are introducing ourselves right now, and it is Taariq's turn. And I'm gonna mute myself.
Sorry. I'm the guy who likes to act up, Taariq Ware, originally from Niagara Falls, but hailing from Rochester, New York. You know, just loving the literary world, as well as the world of music, film, just all liberal arts. I'm definitely someone who is going to be publishing in the near future. So definitely organizing, getting things done. In fact, I'll be in the studio also. So very excited and here to pick the brains of other talented authors who are just criminally underrated. One of us is going to get that Grammy for poetry and audiobook. So it's a race to get that. Because when one of us gets it, we all gonna get it. But that's my introduction for now.
Thank you so much, Taariq. That was the perfect segue to Gail.
Hi there, kitties. My name is Gail. My author name is Camille. I get to be an author. After all of the many hats that I have worn over the years, I get to be an author. And it has been one of the most authentic things I have ever done. I thought I was struggling. I thought I didn't possess enough knowledge or skill set to do this, but God has a sense of humor too. So here I am. I have written 3 successful book series, and I am part of a group of women called the Girl Powerhouse Anthology. I am in that book. But one of my latest books that I released last year is called Dessert Novella Sweets. It's an actual cookbook, and it's world famous stories titled after desserts. So I liken myself to a dessert. And if by chance you offend easily, if you do not like or enjoy violence, vulgarity, and lots of sex, I am not the author for you. But make no mistake, the book has an erotic and a comedic thread running all the way through it. It's got 11 different juicy desserts. And stay tuned. and you'll be served up a slice of something wonderful.
Woo!
That's my spiel. That's my spiel, and I'm sticking with it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Amika, it's your turn.
Why did I know you were going to call me next after Gail? Oh my goodness. I don't know how I'm going to have to come back off of that. Fabulous. Okay. All the things. Okay. So my name is Amika Adams the first, and I am so glad to be here. Natasha just like popped me in there real quick. So I'm so grateful for that and for her today. So she excites me. So I am actually an inventor, and I went from a divorce, mental abusive divorce, on down to ballroom dancing, which helped me to find my idea and had me to patent my idea, which is a handbag for to carry your heels in, coming soon, launching this year. Yes. Okay. And then I became an inventor through the process. So in that process, I end up healing. So I want to tell my story to help women who are going through mental abuse, that they can come out strong, they can come out loving themselves, and they can come out to be an inventor or have their own business and soon to be a millionaire, all in one, and be happy about you. And the man will follow, he will come. So I'm excited to get that book out. My goal is to do that definitely next year because the handbag is rolling out. So the people want that, and I'm about to do that. So thank you so much for your time. Woo woo. I'm jumping out on faith.
Thank you, Amika. I'm so glad that you made it tonight. Woo! All right, Takia, I know you said you're eating dinner. Are you able to share, Takia?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Takia got little ones.
Get a breast
So we know how that goes.
Everybody,
We know how that is.
It's dinner time on the East Coast. None. Thank you. I did not. I said no. Sorry. Sorry. 11-year-old trying to eat up all the food in the house. Nevertheless, here I am. I am Takia Gaither, author, writing coach, editor, formatter, working on becoming a publisher, but have self-published, let's see, what have I written? Over 10 anthologies, a Bible study workbook. I've created a planner, created journals. I am currently working on a set of books, all which will be out. Well, one should have already been out in March, but I kind of got thrown off becoming a TEDx speaker in South Africa. So that pushed that one back. So that one will be out next week. And then there's another one that comes out the end of April, which is towards my birthday. And then the third one in the series will come out the end of May, which would have been my 5-year wedding anniversary, but we were divorced in July because, as I think, was it Amika, sorry, not Kim, I was reading backward. Amika, I was also in an emotionally and mentally abusive and draining relationship, and have now come out of it to do all the things and keep doing all the things. And so the last book is slated to come out on what would have been my 5th year anniversary, and my book launch is called the Not My Anniversary celebration. Yeah, so that's me.
Okay, we going around to give love. This is a love round. Anything that y'all heard from anybody, I want you to give a shout out and give love. Okay, Taariq, start with you. Give love to somebody in here for something they said.
Love, first and foremost. First of all y'all are queens. All right. Gail, 11 different flavors. Wait, 11 different flavors or 11 different desserts?
11 different desserts. They're world famous desserts like red velvet cake, homemade banana pudding, cheesecake, key lime pie, carrot cake. So all of the stories are titled after desserts, but they're very naughty.
I'm a foodie.
Oh.
That's a legend.
Send you my website.
Awesome.
Place
Definitely.
your order.
We'll definitely get in touch. Takia, wow. Especially when you said editor and formatter. See, a lot of people, don't really appreciate the work that really goes into that. I'm gonna come right back to you though, because I have a specific question for you. Amika, shout out to you, Miss Inventor. Yeah, that got my attention. So watch in a minute, people gonna be like, James Cameron, who? We got Amika Adams in the house. For Takia, are you more of a content editor or a copy editor?
I've done both, but
Okay.
content is my favorite. Copy editing, I do it, but because I don't like copywriting, I don't necessarily like copy editing either. When I go in to edit, your book's gonna come out as close to spotless as I can get it. And even though they tell you no edit is ever perfect, I shoot for that 99% accuracy because I can't stand reading books with mistakes in them.
Thank you.
So that's just
one typo, maybe a couple.
yeah.
Or it'd be like, yo, who edited your
you might
book?
see if you see 5, that means that I was slipping. And even though they tell you don't edit your own book, I've been able to edit my own stuff. In it, but I only do that like on extreme situations. I tried not to.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I guess usually the eyes won't be as fresh, but I think as well, because some publishing houses, I've heard this happen before. A woman who is a self-publisher, just does her thing, and her books were clean, and they still had to do their editing, and so with that, it was like the blurb and the title page didn't actually go with the story, and so it kind of a throw off. So her self-published version was different from the publishing house version. So especially for Black women at that, your genius is just not appreciated. But I call you strong, not in the sense of here's more injustice for you, but strong because it will never stop y'all from achieving greatness. We know Maya Angelou is tough, Terry McMillan is tough, but in a minute, they're going to add all y'all names as a plus. So that's my last spiel.
Taariq, you are the positive. I love to hear positive Black men, because that is like the icing on the cake for us queens, because you recognize a queen, and that we're always so overlooked in every area, going to the doctors and just going to work. And so just today just really like made me like super excited about being a queen today, because you just put the icing on the cake. And then talking about Gail, okay, her presentation, everything is like red and fiery. Oh, her whole like box square is like fiery red, like fabulous. So when I hear that she got a book about desserts, I'm thinking when you eating desserts, this is what I sense. That's a great book to have in your hand and just have everyone talk around the table on what dessert that we're eating now. Let's see what's inside the book. And that'll bring up conversations. So I love that, because conversations while we eating dessert always end up being real good. And was it Takia? Oh my God. You are amazing. I know the struggle of having to come out of being in a mental abusive relationship and having to go through the detox. And you have kids. I don't even have kids, so I know yours is probably a little bit double of what I had to go through. So I just commend you for going through the storm and coming out on the back end, and just hitting them just books, workbooks, everything. You just on fire. I'm like, you nonstop, right? So I'm just so grateful to be in this group today. And I wanted to finish, if I could, add on the fact that I invented 3 inventions, one for 900, the first one, the second one 500, the third one 400, and all of that I'm now actually consulting others to do the same. So I help you trademark, patent, or copyright and find resources to do that on a budget. So I'm telling you, once we get the bug of doing something good, we got the secret sauce.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, it is Gail's turn. Spread
Okay.
some love, Gail. Who you got love for up in here?
Taariq, it's nothing like having a man, because a man's voice is on the soundtrack of life. That's a thing of beauty. Love the fact that you're a foodie too. That's cool, because I know you can appreciate my stories. Amika, the handbag, girl, that is clever. Now, when I was modeling years ago, I mean, like way back, I would have loved an invention that you're speaking of. I would have loved it because it was very troubling and troublesome and tiring to carry all the everything. So that's a clever, and you're a smart woman, and you're utilizing, you got your hand on the pulse. So congratulations. Takia, copy editor, is that right? So I'm gonna tell you of a mistake that I made when I first got started writing, because, I wasn't really sure if I was doing what I supposed to do. I knew what the Lord had told me to do, but I was struggling. I edited my first book. I edited it myself. And then when I sent it to the publishing company, they told me that they were going to re-edit it, and they were going to have to charge me more because there were a lot of careless mistakes. And the way that I speak and my punctuations and my spell check and my grammar and all other stuff, it was just a horror story. But it taught me something. You have to have a fresh set of eyes on anything that you do. You can't be the only one that looks at your bodies of work. And then also, one of my first managers said to me, you should consider going back to school to work on becoming a storyteller. And I said, baby, I'm an excellent storyteller. I'm not a grammar chick. I am not a copy editor or copy anything. I said, so I would be putting somebody else out of work. That's their job. That's not my job. I'm telling you the story. Now make sure that all the I's are dotted and the flow is continual. And just one more addition for the group. Coach LT, thank you so much for pulling all of these wayward little souls together and putting us under your coaching umbrella. Thank you.
You're so welcome, beautiful queen. Beautiful queen. It's easy to work with people with this kind of energy. Positive, inspiring. When creatives get together, amazing things happen, especially ambitious people with beauty and brains. Like, yo, ain't nothing we can't do. Taariq, you have a presentation for us tonight. I want you to just go ahead and just take over the mic right now. This literally happened today. I discovered he had another talent, and I was like, oh, you got to share that. I'll be quiet.
Go for it.
I can't stand you. What you do blesses my mental. The time has come for me to get back in this do like lentil, get it popping like pimples, paint pictures with no stencils. Now we're showing like dimples. Amazement is consequential. That is me. That's what I do.
Wow.
It's Mr. One again. I'm chilling with the fellow babies where we're making romantic songs, never debating. We could talk all day about which verse was amazing, but I'm wondering if you could be Mr. Wonderful's baby, the one I'm dedicating TLS to a lady with such a crazy strengthening me. So I can stand up to the wrath of these M's calling me sapperism because I'm a one woman, and ain't that evident? Forget on me for making this pop music, but I'll do anything to counteract non-music. Cadillac relationships, watch when they break the chassis, crazy boyfriends and girlfriends until the blow in the gasket. Going from wedding bells to GoFundMe accounts for caskets, because love became addiction. Inhaling it, man, is tragic. Let me show you what a relationship that's meant to last is. And once again, your heart resumed wearing my sunglasses.
Woo! Come on now.
Popping pimples. Come on now.
Yes.
And Mr.
Yes.
Wonderful's lady. Hello. Hello. That was cool. I like that. Popping pimples, dude.
Yeah. Get it popping like purple. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Well, you know,
this is
just
just,
a little something.
it shows you how one thing leads to another. Like, one thing, I didn't even know he can do all of that. I knew he was amazing. So I was like, you need to be in the room tonight for happy hour. And he was like, I'm gonna be there like thick hair. And I was like, I'm gonna be there like thick hair. I was expecting you to say I'm gonna be there like swimwear. And he was like, no, thick hair is always there. And I was like, oh, we vibing now. Oh, we doing this?
For sure. You know,
I love
can
it.
the bars come?
That
get
was so nice. That was so unique and clever and spot on.
Beautiful.
That's very nice.
appreciate it. I was hold on. Work was stressful today, but I'm beaming tonight. I appreciate this pen. Now I'm feeling it right. Something with a flow nastier than Pedialyte. And comes a chick with a hick who fits the stereotype of a catfish. Always looking tragic. Sad that she's arm in arm with a bum. Can't imagine all the angst on her face getting played like this. He flashes 22 uneven teeth like stuff like this. Claim to have 6 figures, shows up in a crappy car. Claim he's about to find her life, couldn't spell caviar. My pen is forced to witness her enduring this torture bliss of dealing with a hunk. Oh no, we're cyborg. This is butterfly turned caterpillar. Reverse metamorphosis, because he wanted to bend the truth like a contortionist. I lost you when the story got flew over your head, but if you did get it, that's a deal breaker for most of us.
Woo! I'm a fan now. I'm a fan. Where can I get the next hit?
Like I said, I'm getting back in the studio soon, so I will be at least dropping 2 songs by the summer.
Ooh.
2 will be coming out of the vault this summer.
Beaming at night, catfish, light, 6 figures, spell caviar, and reverse
metamorphosis?
metamorphosis.
Yeah.
She's taking notes.
Hot
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, because look, people be catfishing.
Catfishing.
You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like I thought I had a bad day. Well, work was hard, but I'm seeing somebody get catfished. And what was crazy was I really did have a long. I really did have a double shift. And so one of my best friends, she had sent me a gift, and so I opened the package and I'm like, there's nothing in this. Like, what kind of prank is this? Right. So right when like I kicked the floor out of frustration, junk, what my foot hit. So I had dropped a thing, and it ended up being a pin.
A pin?
So yeah, so on the pin it had my 2 main stage names, Mr. Wonderful and Effusion Baby, with musical notes around it. If I was at home, I would show it to you guys. But so really, that was the first thing I wrote. So really, I appreciate this pin. Now I'm feeling it right.
That was spot on.
That was the first thing I wrote with that pen, and it just
you knocked it out the park.
Appreciate it.
Knocked it out the park, and my kids, my son came up this weekend to record a video, and as a prank to torment them because I could, I'm what you call a proper rapper. I'm like this and like that and like this and that. And so, all the rap songs, because I even love to do pop. And my son is like, Mom, could you stop? So as I was listening to you, I said, oh, the proper rapper might need to get in the studio. That was nice.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was never really, gangster rapper, I was getting in trouble for selling candy. I definitely couldn't risk it with drugs.
Well, you brought us some amazing flow. Takia typed in the chat, that was an amazing flow. Definitely uplifted our mood. If we weren't already up, we way up, like all the way up. All the way up. That's why I love these. I love these happy hours because we never know who's going to show up and we never know what they're going to talk about. So it's all good. We're halfway through now. So now we're at the part where I'm just going to ask you a rapid fire question, and whatever comes to your mind, just blurt it out. And we're going to go one by one by one. So Taariq was first, Gail was second, Amika was third, and then Takia, and then back to me. So this one is going to be Gail style. When, what was your first time? I'll let you interpret that any way you want. When and what was your first time? Whatever you want to share about your first time. I think we lost Taariq. Taariq froze up. He got like uncomfortable with that question.
There he is. There he is.
My first tie.
Your first time, T-I-M-E. You can interpret that any way you want.
Oh, my first time. Okay. I was 13. Whew. Every time I think of it, right? So I was like, yeah, it's about to get real lit up in here, right? So, lights were dim. Then the beat came on, put the headphones on. I said, okay, can y'all hear me? Right? That worked? I start here? Okay. It was to the Yang Yang Twins Whisper song.
Oh.
Yeah, most definitely. It went like that. And then from that point, I just knew I belonged in the studio. So that was my first studio session.
You had me at hello. You had me at hello. Gail, your first time.
Well, since I am a love junkie, first time romantic love gave me a glimpse of what he looks like. I was like 8 years old. I thought that I thought I was pretty savvy. But when I finally got a glimpse of this guy that had just moved into this neighborhood, and he seemed to be fascinated with me, and his eyes would twinkle as he looked at me, and he had the most beautiful eyes, but me being unsure of myself, I just figured he was retarded. I'm sorry. He was a special needs. I just figured he was special needs. I didn't think that he was really paying that much attention to me because I was not one of those standout girls. But he kept coming over to my house, and he had very light colored eyes. And my mother would call him the boy with the funny looking eyes. She'd say, oh, baby, the boy with the funny looking eyes is at the door for you. So when I would go talk to him, his eyes would just twinkle, and it just fascinated me. And I said, I had made a proclamation out into the universe. I said, I want someone's eyes to twinkle for me like his did. And that was my first glimpse at what love could possibly be. That was my first time.
Beautiful.
Hey.
It was amazing.
I knew it was going to be something fascinating the way you would bring it. Gail, you're amazing.
Had me at hello.
I know, right? So my first time was in the halls of my high school. I had a crush on a guy, and he actually had a crush back with me. And he came up close to me towards the lockers, and he just leaned in and I leaned in, and we kissed like never before have I experienced it, all in. And it was an amazing first kiss, and I will never forget it because he laid it on me. And I was like, whoa, I just went with the flow. I was like, oh, this is my first time, but I went with the flow and went with them. And I was like, okay, he is experienced, but I'm going with the flow. And hey, I've been good at kissing ever since. My first time.
I got some vapors behind that one.
It's getting hot in here, but you better keep on your clothes because we recording.
I'm at work. Can't do that.
Takia, your first time, Takia.
So
This-
my first time,
why is some of
I
us
asked a
smoking?
friend what was involved. She
Hold on,
gave
blame us.
me
Oh,
her
I'm sorry.
rendition.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I muted. My bad.
She gave me her rendition of the story, and I said, "Cool, no problem. I've been doing that for years." And so, I went at it and realized that it was way more involved than the little brief detail that she gave me. And because I did it for free then, by the time I was finished, I promised myself I would never edit or format another book for free again.
Oh God. And the universe.
Yeah, what time back? What year was that?
2020.
See, your perfect vision. You saw clearly what you were never going to do again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
y'all ready for another pop-up question?
Let's go.
Yes,
Go for it.
How old were you, or maybe this hasn't happened yet. How old were you when you were reading something that was banned or inappropriate or something you wasn't supposed to be reading? How old were you?
Let's see. I was 3 grades behind Jesus. So, probably like 15 CE or something, AD, whatever you gotta go by. No. On the real. Let's see. I was 19. I want to say I was 19. And it was like the whole, I want to say the summer of 2019, late summer into early fall. It was like my house was a book club. All my mom's hood fiction books, like all of us, like my brother's girlfriend at the time, they had just had a son. So her family was like staying with us. So it was like a lot of us. And we were just reading one hood fiction book or street fiction book after another. And I want to say the one that caught my eye was Confessions of a Street Diva. I definitely had no business reading that one. Even at 19. But one of the things that stuck out was how the guy who was accused of killing his wife, how he beat the case, because that book helped me to find out that prosecutors have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that somebody's guilty. And it was like once his lawyer kind of like put doubt in the jurors, how they'd be like, oh, and they'll say something, then they'll be like, what, John? But you're not gonna unhear what you just heard. So it didn't even matter what came after that. It was dude knew he was gonna beat the case, and he did. But also that I was like, at that point, I was like, if I ever get married and find out my wife got a diary and she keeps it in another room, we gonna definitely start an argument. I wouldn't kill her, but we gonna definitely have an argument. What you hiding from me? You was a drug dealer in a past life?
I was going to a book exchange with some friends. We were going to some bookstore, and you would just exchange books every time you went in. I don't know if they have that where you all are, but you never had to spend money You just bring in a book and exchange a book. So we were doing that book exchange. I was 15. I went to this bookstore called the Bookworm. A little old lady up at the counter was working the register, and I was with my play sister, who was an avid reader. She was what you call a speed reader. She could read a book a day. I am not that chick. But I told the lady, I said, I don't like Harlequin romances because that's not the life I've lived and I understood. I said, I want something a little more gritty. So she pointed me to 2 shelves where the adult books were. I walked over to that bookshelf and I saw this book by this lady with a strange name because I didn't know how to pronounce it, but her name was Xaviera Hollander. And the name of the book was The Happy Hooker. And I was 15 reading The Happy Hooker in between breaks in school and stuff. And then I found out that Xaviera Hollander had like 4 or 5 books, and her husband / boyfriend, the Silver Fox, he had books also. So I read both of their series, and all my friends were like, why are you reading erotica? You know what? I said, I don't know, but it rings true more so than the Harlequin romance. I would sit there. It's not dismissing or discounting. It's just they didn't pull me in. Xaviera Hollander, her tales and exploits pulled me in, and I was hooked. I was like, well, it's a wrap for me then. I think I've been jaded. So Xaviera Hollander, 15, The Happy Hooker.
I don't think I can
Be
top
good
better
or be
that.
good at it.
I'll be down. I'll be down.
Show your skill set, player.
Playa.
Right?
For real.
Shut up,
Right
Peter.
out.
I think I can top all that. I'll just say, you know how you go to those liquor stores and they have these magazines. So I'm like looking at the magazines thinking, oh yeah, I'll find a black magazine. And I pulled something from the back and pulled it out. Oh, wow, what is it? Playboy or something that, I don't know. It was just legs everywhere. So I was like, oh no, I got the wrong magazine. So I was like, ever since then, I've been scared to look at the magazines in the back and pull them out because I'm like, I don't know what is behind there in the plastic. That's when mine was at 16.
Don't go back there in the back. Get the stuff with the plastic. It'll say Gail on it. Okay.
All right now, I'm not afraid. I love going to the magazines and pulling them out. I want to look at all. I want to see it. I have no shame now. I'll be like, oh, that's skills, baby. That's skills. Know your worth.
Takia, I know you got kids in there, Takia. So we know your answer has to be G-rated.
Yes, it's all the way PG.
Yes.
So similar to Amika's story, I was 8 and my grandmother had bunk beds for my uncles. And so I was on the top bunk and I went under, something was playing with something, went under the pillow, and there was a magazine under it. And so I opened the magazine and saw what it was and immediately threw it across the room. And so I was turned off from everything ever since that day. And so then I got to be about 12. And, Lifetime used to be really popular. And Danielle Steele was at like the height of the thing. And all her movies came on Lifetime. Well, digging around in the basement, my mother had one of the books of one of the movies we had just ended up watching, because it was Lifetime in the 80s. It wasn't like they was doing but so much. But little did I know she had the real book. And so the first thing I actually read was a Danielle Steele novel when I was like 12 or 13. And then I read all of them, and now I can't even stand reading that kind of stuff. I don't want none of it.
So I guess 50 Shades of Grey is out of your league.
I love that series. I read all of them. And I love them so much I got them on Audibles. Yeah, that was my introduction to Audible's membership. I wanted something that was going to fascinate me, and sex seems to do it. So I was just sitting there. I was like, well, I'm going to see what 50 Shades of Grey is about. And when I got the first one, I was like, oh, it's a wrap for me. E.L. James, oh, I'm hooked, baby. And I said, I thought it was a man until I actually, till I saw her. It's like, oh, it's just a chick. Cool. But love 50 Shades, all of them.
All right. Thank you for
Oh, I
sharing.
just said I
everybody.
knew you would. I knew
Oh,
you
yes.
would.
Oh, yes. We got about 10
Appreciate it.
minutes left, and we're going to do a quick rapid fire round. I want everybody to talk about on this last round, what is it that you do to where we can support you? So I know a lot of us in here are speakers. We've been interviewed on podcasts. Takia had a TED Talk. What is it? Where can we go to find things that you've done to support you and to basically help to get you more visibility? Taariq, you're first.
As of right now, I'm on Facebook. I'm currently doing, I would say, TED Talks or question of the days. Yeah. So, yeah, follow me on Facebook, TAARIQ. That is TAARIQWARE. There we go. So, like for instance, what was the question of today? What character or characters on TV do you relate to? So for me, I said Arnold from Hey Arnold. You know, it's almost like he couldn't be mean even if he wanted to, but you know, also life was good. So you know, he was really. It was almost like you couldn't really say he had a bad life because there was always a lot of good stuff happening for him. And he appreciated that. Bugs Bunny, because at some point you got to know when you're a stinker, when you're just getting on people's nerves, and he would just be. I'm surprised Yosemite Sam never had an aneurysm. Came close to it a bunch of times. You know, Daffy Duck just knowing Bugs Bunny's untouchable, whereas Daffy Duck always ended up with his beak on his head. You know, but Lola Bunny, oh, when she came on the scene, oh, he was just off for her. So yeah, I've always been that kind of dude. What? You catch my attention? I'm off for you. And Corey off Boy Meets World. You know, when you look at a person and their best friend, you're like, okay, so who's the crazier of the two? And a lot of times I find myself in that dynamic. Those are the funnest types of dynamics when you're talking about best friendships. So, yeah, that's for me.
Thank you,
But
Taariq.
more things are going to come. More things are going to come in the future, though, and then I'll let you know as they come.
Thank you. And I appreciate the fact that you spelled out your name so that people who are listening to this on the podcast will be able to find you on Facebook. Taariq is on Facebook right now, y'all. So follow him for his question of the day. That's phenomenal. All right, Gail, where do we find you?
My name is Gail, but my author name is Camille St. Charles, Mississippi. And you can go to my book's website. You can find out excerpts. You can read excerpts, see the covers of my book, see some interviews that I've done, some podcasts. And I also have a dessert novella suites podcast where I tell you the story. You can physically hear me describe all of the delicate and delicious little situations that are presenting themselves. And Taariq, I am a Bugs Bunny aficionado. That is one of my favorite cartoons under the sun. And I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, I should have made that left turn in Albuquerque. And I started laughing at myself because I was like, all these years I've been watching Bugs Bunny and he has traveled with me, and you have to see the comedic thread that runs through your own life. And you have to learn to stop and laugh at yourself, because nothing is that serious and nobody's that perfect. And if you don't laugh at yourself, the world will laugh at you. So
for sure.
what am I doing?
Why do I tell people, you know, to say my name? I always say, amiga, amiga, like Speedy Gonzalez, so they can remember me. So I just thought about that because I grew up on all of them. And so my name, I love to say it because I'm so proud of me putting myself first. So it's Amika Adams the first, and you can find me at amikaadamsthefirst.com. Not only that, you can find me on all social media. I am Amika the first. So once I finally got out, well, when I actually signed on the dotted line when I got married, I wanted to say that I am the first wife, not the second. So that's why I put the first on there. But then also remind myself that I am the first and not the last, like the word of God says. So, you know, so you can find me there on all social media. I'm always going to be talking about how my story, how you can come out of a divorce and shine, and how you can build your self-esteem. I also have a podcast on what is it? The Cinderella effect. So when I spun around in the actual ballroom dancing studio, that's when I finally had the effect of loving myself. And I want to be able, I'm interviewing women to tell me when they had their Cinderella effect of finding when they love their self. Yes, that Cinderella effect is something. So definitely check it out. Just type my name. You'll find me everywhere. Just Google me. So I'm here to inspire and let women know that they can do it even after a divorce.
You can find her in the club. Bottle full of
Takia,
bug.
Takia, you're up.
All right. So just because I can't let go of the Bugs Bunny thing either, the left at Albuquerque, I think I have written it in at least 3 different things that I've written, because that is always my go-to line when I should have just did something else. I'm like, I should have just went on and made that left. But yeah, so aside from that, across social media, I am Takia the teacher, because before becoming the editor, the author, all the things, I was an 18-year math, computer science, and technology teacher. And then even when I went to the world of writing, editing, and all the things, everything that I write is still a lesson. So I'm going to teach regardless, because that's who God made me to be. That's what I do. So I'm Takia the teacher across everything. I do have a podcast, which I am currently not recording, but I need to get back on my grind and get busy with it. So everything else about me, you can find at the ready write her.com. So TheReadyWrite-her.com. And that is the name of my editing company. So that's me.
Yay. Well, we've got about 3 minutes left, and that gives me just enough time to promote me. Hey, what's up, yo?
Hey.
It's just enough time.
Yes.
So for those of you guys that are watching this live in the Facebook group right now, go ahead and put some comments about things that you heard tonight, things that you saw, things that you want to shout out some love. I can't see the comments now, but I'm going to check the comments tonight when I look at this on the replay. For those of you that are listening to this on my podcast, thank you so much for being on anchor.fm. That is a podcast that actually pays you for advertisement, and you don't have to pay them anything. It's free. I have about 13 episodes on there. And at this point, I have made $3.07. Hello, every little bit counts. 5 years from now, I'll be telling you, oh, remember when I made $3.07? Now it's 3 million, right? Right? So hype me up, y'all. Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. So that's my podcast. I'm actually bringing it back to life because it was a secret project that I created for myself during the pandemic, during 2020, when we were all kind of going through a lot of different things. I literally was in my closet with the door closed, recording podcast episodes because I didn't want my family members to know that I was secretly plotting to quit my job and become a full-time author. So you will hear, you know, if you go back to those episodes, you'll hear me whispering in the closet that I have a strategy. I've got an exit plan. And I was working on that exit plan for about 5 years, yo. So for people who think, oh, LT, she's an overnight success, 5-year overnight success. And with my book stuff, that was a 12-year overnight success because I procrastinated and I was pregnant with that book for 12 years. Somebody told me I needed to write it. That's why I don't judge y'all. I don't judge nobody. If you're not ready, you ain't ready. But I was procrastinating and I should have wrote it, but I just was disobedient, ran around and didn't do it. And then I had 2 surgeries and I was like, oh, I can't do nothing but sit here right now because I'm recovering from these surgeries. And that's how life hits you, right? Like, you know, you're supposed to be doing something, you don't do it. So you get knocked out and then you're like, oh, I guess I better go back to that project. So I just want to say thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank you so much for adding so much fire and flavor to the evening. I have a couple of things that are coming up. So if you want to mark your calendar for April 15th, it's a Saturday. I'm going to be a speaker at an event. It's called what is it called? The Mastery of Networking 1000. There are supposed to be 1,000 people in the virtual space that will have their eyeballs on my content. So I am so excited. If y'all want to be there to support me, I would love it because then I could have bragging rights. If you go to my Facebook page, Latasha Jimerson, and you scroll through my timeline, you will see a link that says Mastery of Networking 1000. And it's April 15th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific. It's a 3-hour event. I will get to host my own private room, which people will have access to after the event. But here's what I need. We were told to invite 10 people to participate as participants. And I'm also allowed to invite another speaker. So let me know, send me a DM on Facebook if you want to be a featured speaker at this event. I can call my friend, Sean Beanman, who is in charge of this event, and we can get you on that list. In the meantime, if you want to be a participant, just click that link and then put in you were referred by me, Latasha LT Jimerson, and I'll get some bragging rights. I'll be like, yeah, how many people came in here with my name on it? Oh, yeah. You know, I'm just a little competitive like that. So that's April 15th. What else am I doing? What else I got going on? I got a lot going on, y'all. If you know someone who is planning an event and who needs a speaker, email me because I'm your girl, especially if it's anything about your first book, if it's anything about, you know, publishing, healing through writing. Every single one of my clients has told me that as I have walked them across that bridge from writer to author, it has been a therapeutic experience and they have healed in so many areas through that process that were unexpected. It's not something that I planned. I just discovered through the process of teaching and coaching that I'm also a healer and I'm stepping into that healing power now because people have told me, hey, that was a healing process. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a healer too. All right, I'll take it. So if you know anyone who has a group that would love to hear that type of message, email me, ljimerson35@gmail.com. That's LJIMERSON35@gmail.com. I'm your girl, yo. This is my year of getting on stages. So Takia and I are definitely going to be having some collaborations outside of this call because I'm so proud of you, Takia, for your TED Talk. We didn't celebrate. We need to take a second right now and celebrate Takia. Let's everybody open up your mic and just do some screaming for her because she just did a TED Talk in South Africa. Like,
woo! Come on.
Congratulations. So proud of you.
The motherland, the motherland. That is big.
Thank you.
That is huge.
Connected with you. Y'all need to hit her up in the DMs
Yes.
on Facebook and be talking to her, y'all, because
Yes.
this woman is phenomenal. You don't even know a little tiny piece of what she does. She's also one of the people that helps me manage this group. Thank God, because the group is growing now and there's people from all over the place. And there's people coming into the group that I don't even know. So I just want to say thank you, Takia, for that. If you ever need access to the link for this, she can help you with that, because I get all messed up. I'm not the techie tech. I just show up, you know, with the face and the voice. But Takia can do the techie tech stuff in the background. So Gail, get with Takia from now on and ask her to send you that link, because you know your girl be slipping. Get with
I'm not a
Takia.
tech person either. And when I was like, you said, look for my link, I was like, well, I
Where's
see
it
it
at?
at a random moment.
Mhm.
I don't see it.
No, you're not the only one. Plenty of people
Okay.
have said, where's the link? I don't see. That's why I said, Takia, please help me with that. Because I be missing people. Like I'm pretty sure we could probably have like 25 people on here if I were to go out and just make sure each person has that link. But your girl ain't got time like that. So thank you for helping me with it. I appreciate it. What else did I want to share? Two more things I want to share. So, I switched it up on y'all. I'm getting ready to do a whole rebrand. I'm getting ready to do a whole, because I'm a different woman. I started my business years ago, and now I've got different hair, I got a different body, a different attitude. So everything is getting ready to shift, y'all, because now my title is motivational speaker and book healer, because that's what I do, is I help people heal through the writing of their books. So it's so interesting how y'all talk about relationships. I'm also in the midst of a divorce. And so it has been hairy. It's been crazy. But you know what? God takes me through things because he wants to test me for the testimony. And my very first book was my testimony in 2017. I didn't want to write it, but I wrote it, and it was so therapeutic because it was about me being diagnosed with bipolar and how I dealt with that, how I was in denial, how I was in anger and resentment and trauma. And that's what I talked about. And people bought it and they were like, whoa, how are you depressed when you're the happiest teacher on campus? Like, you're usually up there talking to people, talking about happy Monday. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't see what happened when I was crying myself to sleep every night. You don't know nothing about that. So that's what I put in that book, so that people would know, hey, look, be careful what you say around people, because you don't know what they're dealing with at home at night. You don't know, just because they show up and they're all happy and pretty and well-dressed and, you know, well manicured and all that. We're just humans. We're frail. You know, we're all out here trying to struggle and be successful, right? So for those of you guys that you have multiple books, I did a quick little, and Cedric, I'm going to ask you to talk about yourself in a second, but I want to make sure that I include this. I did a talk today, and it was, you only need one book. Raise your hand if you remember Nas. One mic. All I need is one mic, right? This is what I want to teach you guys as a marketing, promotional book person. When you have one good book with one good message, then you just need one audience and you need one platform and one stage. That's going to give you access to your core group. That's going to build your tribe. The people who show up for me at my happy hours, my master classes, my Facebook group, these are people who have been rocking with me for about 5 years. One lady was like, LT, I've been listening to you for 4 years. And I'm like, where? She's like, on Facebook. You've been giving your motivational talks. And I was like, it's been 4 years? I calculated the other day, it's been like 6 years since I've been out here talking to people, just motivational minutes. Even when I was teaching in the classroom, I needed the motivation. So y'all don't get it twisted. It wasn't for y'all folks. That motivation was for me, because I needed somebody to speak life into my life, because I didn't have anybody at that moment. So I had to be my own mentor, my own coach, and my own hero. So that's why I love to do this, because the people who are showing up for me in my community, these people are my tribe and they are my original buyers. So for anyone who doesn't have a book yet, here's what you want to do. When you put out your book, you want to get on the phone with the people who bought it, and you want to actually have a conversation. Okay, you want to actually ask them for feedback about your book. I have called and interviewed and Zoom met and virtual coffee with almost like every single person that has ever purchased my book. Now, how do you keep track of that? Because Amazon doesn't give you that information. There's some tips and tricks that I teach in my community on how you can keep track of every single person that buys your book. Because you want to sit down and have a conversation and you want to ask them, what do they want next? And what was missing? And what do you think I should tweak? Or, you want that feedback because these people are spending money and the money is what you need to be able to continue to promote yourself. So all you need is one book with one message for one tribe. You need to solve one problem and you need to solve it better than anybody else. Okay. You got to do it. That's all you got to do. Now I have 8 books and I thought I needed a bunch of books, but I found out I was wrong because when I really went back and I spoke to my readers, there was only one question they were asking me. And I thought it was going to be about my depression, right? Because that's what I wrote about. The number $1 million question that people asked me was, how the hell did you write a book? And I was like, Google? And they're like, no, like, what was the process? And I was like, YouTube? And they were like, no, like, how did you do it? And I was like, I went on YouTube, I went on Google, and I figured it out. I didn't realize, teachers, we can do any fucking thing. I just thought everybody was out here writing books. Teachers, educators, ministers, people who are mentors, coaches, you are an expert because you can do something that most people cannot do. I didn't know I was an expert until they started asking me, how did you write a book? And I was like, well, and so I thought, you know what, maybe I should put together a course. And so I put together a course, but then I realized 70% of people who signed up for courses don't ever finish the course. So that was a losing proposition. For me as a teacher, I'm not okay with that. 3 out of 10 students passing? No. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the course and I'm just going to have a workbook. And so I have a workbook that's literally the online course. And you can get it if you go to Facebook or Instagram and you click on the link in my bio for PayHip. My workbook is $97 because it is my course curriculum. It is 5 years of research of what I know about self-publishing since I've been doing it. So grab that for your friend, for your mama, for your auntie, whoever's thinking about writing a book. They need that because it's a lot of information in there and it gives you worksheets. There's clickable worksheets that you can print out to help you as you are writing your book. Okay, there's a book outline, there's all kinds of book templates and everything in there for you. Okay, last thing is for people who get stuck, and this was me. I was procrastinating. I kept getting stuck. I kept getting in my own way. I was being disobedient, to be honest. I needed somebody to kick me in the butt, right? With the feather or the belt. I needed somebody to get their belt and to force me to do what my dream was, right? So for people who need someone to give them a kick in the butt, I'm currently also offering one-on-one coaching sessions for you. So if you are somebody who you know you need to be writing a book, but you ain't, I'm offering you a one-on-one coaching session where I will help you get that stuff out of your mind, put it onto the page, and let's start moving forward. That one-on-one coaching session is normally $500 for one session for 1 hour. Right now it's on sale for $250. You can get that if you go to my link in my bio on Facebook or Instagram, click it, and you can hire me for a one-on-one coaching session. That's my commercial. That's all I wanted to share. One of my wonderful buddies is up in the house. We do affiliate marketing, y'all, up in this place. I promote his brand. He promotes my brand. We are just like everywhere together. We met on Clubhouse. He's got a thriving Facebook community with like 50 times more people than what I have. But I'm just chasing him, man, trying to keep up. But anyway, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Cedric Scott Jr.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. I'm glad I can make it. I was like, oh man, I hope I can jump in there real quick because I have office hours I'm running in 15 minutes, but I wanted to make sure I came through and support it. But yeah, I'm Cedric. I'm actually in the education space, career changer more than once. I started out in science. I was a chemist first. Attended an HBCU, got my bachelor's degree in chemistry. Then worked. I actually made the shift into teaching. Met my wife at my first school. She still is an educator, special education. And yeah, just built out a bunch of different stuff. I have a 3-year-old little boy, so those are probably my 2 favorite titles. Being a father, being a husband. I get to work remotely. My last school-based role, I worked in the DC public system, but my last school-based role, I was a assistant principal. And I just learned that I was able to do a lot of stuff. Honestly, and I just recently did a series on this. I called it the Ahead of My Time series, where I was able to actually accomplish a bunch of stuff well before like the medium age. And I started mapping it out, and yeah, I became an assistant principal before I was 30, and I think the average is like 43 or something like that. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm now working in education technology in ed tech. Made a couple moves in ed tech, but I do a bunch of different stuff, contract work, curriculum writing, all that stuff. But yeah, I get to work, from home. I've been home with my son, since he's been here. My wife works remotely now as well. And yeah, we relocated from the DC area to Myrtle Beach. And with that, built out a couple of things. I'm an author as well. My memoirs, the original book that I wrote is grade 3 to AP, Memoirs of a Black Male Educator. And from that, it just kind of continued to kind of grow and expand. I create math and financial literacy resources, learning content for our youth. It's called Melanated Mathematics. It's created in the context of Black history and culture. All the artwork in it is done by Black artists. So I'm sharing that, promoting it, and doing a lot of work locally with, the like Boys and Girls Club and different youth organizations, stuff like that. And as Latasha mentioned, we're members of this community that I crazily just started out of nowhere. It's called Edu Hustle. It's the #1 movement for educators, and what we do in Edu Hustle is guide educators to maximizing their time, talent, and earning potential. So people are landing new jobs. I have a lot of insider kind of information. I think that the general kind of education coaches and stuff like that don't necessarily either know about, or they don't necessarily teach those things, kind of like with Latasha with the book, publishing, and just like that whole aspect of getting yourself out there. And now even going into the motivational speaking, she can tell you kind of from a actual experience perspective. I do the same thing in education. So yeah, people people who want to either land new jobs, leave teaching, or if you want to stay in teaching and do something in addition, multiple streams of income, that type of things. But it's all about educational empowerment. And the last thing I'll say is all this kind of funnels directly into a greater purpose that I have right now. Actually, until Saturday, I have a scholarship that's open. I created a memorial scholarship in memory of my mom. I lost my mom when I was 10 years old to breast cancer. So I started a scholarship in her name. This is the 2nd year I'm offering it. So if you know any Black high school seniors that are planning to pursue a STEM degree, the application is open for them until Saturday, April 8th, which is my mom's birthday and my wedding anniversary. So yeah, so that'll be something great to announce. But yeah, I appreciate you, Latasha. I just wanted to come in and book a call with her, y'all. Book a call with her. Support what she's doing. Promote it, because I'm gonna keep promoting. Just we toss a lot of ideas back and forth all the time, and I just try to support as much as I can. So I just appreciate what you're doing. But I'll be quiet now.
That's love, man. That was
Yes,
awesome, King.
thank you so much. I'm glad we got 2 kings in the house. I'm used to hanging out with queens, but we got kings up in here tonight. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Taariq finish us. Like he gonna land the plane right now.
I'm Mr. Wonderful. My stuff is diamond so no, what's I can say for my soul? I'm bulletproof like the rule. If we're gumbo, be the rule. Because white people rule. No turkey of the week because we're baking these fools. I'll be a thorn to these berries like Eliza. Don't forget to meet me Friday for the cipher. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful presentation. Mr. Wonderful has been gracious to be a part of it, as well as the queen known as Gail Rooker, Takia Gaither. Of course, Amika Adams, who had to, go cook something delicious. And Cedric Scott, who is just on the money. Forget meeting goals. He is smashing them. Just almost like it's smash therapy. And also it's really neat, that your wedding anniversary is also the anniversary of your mom's death, which really speaks to you and your wife, for that to create a moment, like that, so that you could find comfort in the relationship. Kind of like how in the Bible, Isaac, when he got with Rebecca, that was like a comfort to him after losing his mother. So kind of seeing a connection like that. And of course, the CEO, the woman, the myth, the legend, Coach LT, Latasha Jimerson. I love you guys.
Awesome. I'll see you guys next Thursday night. Happy hour is going to be on Thursday from now on. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, listening, commenting. We can see you commenting on Facebook, y'all, and we're going to comment back and we're going to connect with you and we're going to hang out again next Thursday. Bye.
Later.